ITTO-BMLEH Teak project. Okay. So this project, it used to be ITTO-BMEL, but the Ministry of Food and Agriculture have been renamed as the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Regional Identity. So they changed the name a little bit, okay? But the project title of everything still the same. So this project is funded by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Regional Identity of Germany. So the project duration is 3 years from November 2023 until the end of December 2026. Now we already finished 50% or in the halfway of the project duration. So we have 5 countries from Asia Pacific participating in this project, including Cambodia, Thailand, Vietnam, Indonesia, and India. And 1 country in West Africa is the Togo. This is one of the South-South collaboration that we would like to sharing and promote the sharing capacity building and sharing information. So the objective of the project is to promote the production of the quality timber in smallholder and community-based teak and other variable species plantation, and if you contribute to the livelihood improvement, social and environmental outcome. So there are 3 output and 11 activities. So today's webinar is a part of the output 3 that we would try to promote the collaboration, information sharing, and knowledge management. So for the webinar, so during this 3 years project, we plan to organize 12 webinars. So the aim of to create the collaborative learning platform for smallholder, forestry authority, academic partner, and to advance knowledge and innovation. So far, we already finished 2 webinars. So the first webinar on the teak supply chain or setting the scene, we have 2 distinguished speakers, Dr. Tretra from ITTO and Dr. Turasidas from Teaknet. And the second one on the quality seedling, particularly on the genetic resources. So we have 2 speakers, one Dr. Yasuda from India and Dr. Suwan from the Royal Forest Department of Thailand. So today is the 3rd webinar. So the themes of today's seminar is on the teak seedling innovation via tissue culture. And we have 2 well-known scientists, one from Malaysia, Sabah, and the other one from Thailand, Dr. Paibun. So both of them are very famous and successful in the business. And I have the honor to inform you that we have Dr. Nurudeen, the Director of Trade and Industry from ITTO, to give the opening remark on behalf of ITTO and the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Regional Identity of Germany. So Dr. Nurudeen, please.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yongyut, Professor Yongyut, for this opportunity. On behalf of the ED of ITTO, I wish to welcome all of you to this 3rd webinar. And the team promoting quality timber production in smallholder and community-based teak and other valuable species plantation in the tropics. I am doing it on behalf of ITTO, and I am very happy to see that we have a lot of people joining from across Cambodia, India, Indonesia, Thailand, and Vietnam. I'm not sure whether we have our colleague joining from Togo. This webinar is part of the second phase of the ITTO flagship project. The project, which is supported by the German government, has been under implementation since 2023. And of course, we have 5 countries participating from the Asia region and 1 from Togo. And as Professor Yongyut well articulated, this is to promote South-South cooperation, which at ITTO we embrace very well. The theme of the third webinar is Teak Seedling Innovation via Tissue Culture Production. We really want to thank 2 of our distinguished speakers. That is Dr. Doreen, who is the Managing Director, Bioscape, Sabah, Malaysia, and Dr. Paibulia Gavin Vetanana, Managing Director of Thai Orchard Limited, which is a private tea and rubber wood seedling company based in Thailand. And of course, you all know that naturally occurring teak is found in a very small range, that is in India, Myanmar, Thailand, and then People's Democratic Republic of Laos. And as you all know, teak is the most prominent tropical hardwood which is traded in the world. Teak wood and products are characterized by their beauty and unique durability, and they can store carbon for decades, if not even for centuries. Natural teak forests, in particular, old growth, high-quality stands, are declining in all native regions, mainly due to overexploitation, agricultural expansion, and conversion to other land uses. In addition, the existing planted teak forests are of poor quality, mainly due to unknown genetic resource base. The ITTO-BMLEH project on promoting quality production in smallholder and community-based teak and other valuable species plantation in the tropics aims to support sustainable and productive management of teak and other high-value timber plantation in the tropical regions. Therefore, the theme of this third webinar on the role of tissue culture in ensuring sustainable and good quality teak planted material is very much of relevance to the project objective, which is to promote quality timber production. This webinar aims to create a collaborative learning platform for smallholders, forestry authorities, and academic partners to advance knowledge and innovation across the supply chains for teak and other high-value timber species. It is intended that the insight and outcome from this event will contribute meaningfully to the discussion at the upcoming 5th World Teak Conference in India, which is going to take place in September this year, supporting more sustainable and inclusive approaches to teak management and trade in respective countries. A series of presentations and discussion in the webinar will strengthen regional and international collaboration, supporting smallholder and community-based initiatives to achieve sustainable, high-quality timber production across tropical landscapes. With this, on behalf of my team at ITTO, we want to wish you all a fruitful and productive webinar. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
So thank you very much, Dr. Nurudeen, for the opening remark. So I will briefly introduce our speaker before the full presentation. So as Dr. Nurudeen already introduced, so the first one is the Dr. Doreen, the Managing Director of YSG Bioscape, a company based in Sabah. Dr. Nurudeen has more than, I think, 30-year experience in tissue culture, particularly to produce the high-quality teak seedling and export the high-quality teak seedling to many countries across the globe in Latin America, Africa, and Asia. And the second speaker is Dr. Paibun Kavindrat Watana. He's the managing director of the Thai Orchid company. It's also the private company that emphasizes not only the teak, but other economic species, including the fruits and anise. So both of them, I think we are it's a great pleasure that we have a very well-known scientist, managing director, and very successful in the business to share their experience in their teak tissue culture and mass production. So I would like to start with the presentation by Dr. Doreen about the presentation. So let me go up just a moment. Okay. Dr. Doreen, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you so much, Professor.
Okay, okay. I hand it to you now.
Yes, thank you. Can you all hear me okay, I hope? Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are, ladies and gentlemen. I'm happy to be here to give my presentation on our work for the past 30 years. Actually, today is a public holiday in Malaysia. We have the Awal Muharram. But regardless of that, it's always nice to be invited to give a presentation on our work. So without further ado, let me have the first slide, please. Am I doing it or are you doing it? Okay. So briefly, the outline of my presentation will be considerations for tissue culture propagation. Secondly, rationale and application of clonal teak, why we are going into clonal propagation. And I'm also going to be talking a little bit about the planting materials from YSG Bioscape, the company that I'm managing. Next one. To start off. Sorry.
So may I ask your cooperation to mute your microphone, except the speaker? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So to start off, just in line with the presentation that I'm giving today, I'd like to start off by quoting from Ms. Conye's opening remarks from the last webinar, whereby she was saying that quality planting materials are the starting point of the supply chain. You know, without quality seedlings or planting materials, achieving good survival rates, robust growth, and resilience during the formative stages of teak tree is not possible. And it is on this basis that we have been doing our work for all these past 3 decades. Next one. So in order for the tissue culture method to be commercially successful, we understand that 3 basic criteria must be met. First, we have to think about effectiveness, which is the ability to propagate a wide range of genotype, wide range of different genetics, you know, parental material within the same species. Efficiency, the ability to produce a large number of easily established plants. And thirdly, economics, the ability to compete in price with comparable planting stock. So with effectiveness interacting with efficiency, we are looking at the economics of process, which is the key to having a successful tissue culture process. Next. So as we know, teak has always been propagated traditionally as a planting material. The seeds has been used, but then we also understand that there are limitations from the propagation of teak by seed. There has been cases of insufficient availability, is seasonal, season dependent, highly unpredictable, and potentially low germination rate. And of course, once the seeds are germinated, you face the problem of high variation among the individuals, whether they are genetically related, and this will affect major economical traits of importance, such as the yield, growth quality, whether they are resistant to biotic or abiotic stressors. So with that in mind, next one, please. Next, please. We decided to embark on the clonal propagation of teak. So just to give a summary of what, go back, please. Okay, this is it. So next one. Next one, please. So in contrast, instead of using seed, we are looking at vegetative propagation of teak, which allows the multiplication of many individuals, and we call them clones in this case. They are identical in every aspect to the selected original OTEP. So meaning to say these are true to type. Every clone will be a true to type replica of the mother trees. And then go back, it's flipping. The slides are flipping. Can you go back, please? So anyway, we can go back. All right, it's okay. It's all right. So anyway, and based on the reason given, okay. So we are also doing vegetative propagation of teak because we know that regardless of the seed production, we can now go to any existing mother tree, identify it, and then we can select the mother tree regardless of whether they are young or old, whether because of the environmental condition, we just select the trees. And as you can see in the photos here, we selected 8 genotypes originating from Solomon Island that display very outstanding traits. And in the lab, we focus on methods such as micro cuttings, whereby nodal segments from young vegetative shoots are collected and we put them in tissue culture. We also look at meristem culture, and we are looking at 100 to 150 micrometers size starting explant, and we are looking at very, very tiny pieces of shoot apex. Yeah? And this method really helped in getting rid of endogenous contamination. At the nursery, you can also do macro cutting by collecting young shoot from mother stock plant grown in polybag. So with this kind of method, we are able to successfully select any clones, any genotype out in the field. And then, of course, when you select the mother tree, you are looking at quantitative, which is the growth and yield, and qualitative traits, which is the balls, shape, the fruit, and forkless, minimal lateral branching, and wood characters. So next one, please. So outcome from more than 2 decades of R&D collaboration between the Sabah Foundation Group, which is the foundation that our company is a subsidiary of, and then collaboration with CIRAT, we have successfully come up with the very optimal protocol using a single culture medium with a very high multiplication rate. It's simple and very cost effective. And it is possible to introduce, excuse me, and must multiply any genotype regardless of the OTET age. And again, as I said earlier, we selected this based on the actual traits, quantitative and qualitative. So the phenotypic selection of all these clones were also further refined by using DNA and wood analysis of the clone. And with the collaboration from CIRAT, we were able to do DNA analysis of the 8 selected clones. And we observed that the wood quality of very young trees, I think age about 10 years, they were not inferior to naturally grown teak of the same age. And this was a very pleasant surprise for us to find out that the young plantation teak is growing quite well. So results from various field trials in many countries further verified that the YHG clones which are the Solomon clone, are consistently better in growth performance than seedlings or clones from local sources. So I'm sure if you look in the website, where you can refer to our numerous publications on our work for the past 20 years. So using tissue culture, I think the best thing is that we are able to deliver plants to overseas countries, overseas market, and tissue culture has this benefit of a phytosanitary certification, which can overcome quarantine constraint in the importing country. And this is very crucial in our work on Teak. Next one, please. So from the lab, it is also crucial that we have survival rate of more than 90% observed under the nursery condition. And this really complements the whole tissue culture process. I mean, if you are able to do, produce plants successfully in the lab, but if you take them out to the field and they don't do well, they don't grow at all, then it's meaningless. But then in our work, we have managed to come up with even very good optimal conditions at the nursery level that helps to bring the survival of the tissue culture plant to this high percentage. Next. So with that, we have to date dispatched clonal teak plant to more than 25 countries across 4 continents. And as some of you may know, a lot of the importation or exportation to Latin America and Africa were actually prompted by investment-driven projects in the early 2000s. So here, I think our first client was actually to Australia, Queensland, and at that point in time, I think way back in the early 2000, it was not easy to export plants to Australia. The quarantine rules are quite strict, but we managed, a lot of paperwork, and we even had to give a bit of training to the quarantine officers to make them understand how they can handle our plants. And having overcome that, it was easy to look at other countries and overcoming all the constraints that we face. Of course, the documentation is always important, and I think working together with the local authorities really help. So next one, please. Now, what do we do with the clonal plants? We have been exporting them all over the world, and the application of using clonal materials is quite vast. We can look at them in intercropping or mixed land use with commodity cash crop, such as we have all these projects in different countries. Ivory Coast, we are looking at intercropping with rubbers, and that's ongoing. In Sabah, of course, we have been competing with oil palm for land, and because oil palm is such a lucrative industry, so all we can do is encourage the plantation owner to just do border planting around the plantation. We also have things like intercropping with arrowroots in Indonesia, intercropping with coffee and banana. And of course, we have also sent plants to Ecuador and the Philippines for agro-pastoral setting. And this, as you can see in the pictures, the teak clones do very well. As you can imagine, the droppings from the cattle give added fertilizations to the soil, and that helps in the growth of the trees. Next one, please. And of course, clonal teak can be used for large-scale plantation. We have got it. Several thousand teak plantations has been set up using clonal materials in Brazil, and the latest one is in Cambodia. From all these large-scale plantation, they have been collecting data from the field, and we understand that using teak clones, higher yield of greater quality materials than seed-derived trees, and can be obtained, to get the best and earliest return on investment. Also, this large-scale plantation using clonal teak will help to overcome the tremendous deficit in supply and to meet ever-increasing international demand of superior wood that can no longer be harvested from natural teak forests. And of course, the intensification of crop productivity spurred by increasing democratic pressure can be minimized if we, make full use of available land by planting clones. Next one, please. Next, please. So what are the lessons learned from the tissue culture propagation of teak clone? We know that through the application of this technology, high production of planting materials with selected and site-adapted qualities, shorter rotation, improved wood quality and yield, and reduced losses within a limited space is achievable whole year round. You don't have to worry about the weather outside, whether it's going to be cold or hot. You're doing everything in the confinement of a tissue culture lab, and that is really helpful. And then, of course, propagation of teak clone is highly possible based on actual traits. And as I mentioned earlier, we are looking at true-to-type propagules, true-to-type products from tissue culture. And using clonal propagation is more guaranteed rather than using other methods which are more uncertain, speculative, and also costly. And using clonal propagation, we can maximize higher return on investment in the shortest delay, while ensuring that the plantation will have homogeneous growth overall. So the propagation technique allows, most importantly, to make a note of this, allows the sustainable production of clonal teak for widespread application. So I think the latest rationale for clonal propagation is to use it for carbon offset project, and there has been discussion, people approaching us for this likelihood of using clonal teak for such project. And the sustainability, being able to produce teak clone for this kind of major project is, actually, of course, doable. And as we also know, it's the only way to export live plants without phytosanitary constraint all over the world. So these are the lessons that we learned, and we are very happy with the result that we have obtained so far. Next one, please. So right now, what do we have from our company? We have clones from more than 50 genotypes selected from the 2 progeny provenance plot. I think they are aged about 27 years now, and we are continuously selecting mother trees, good-looking one from different origin, and this can be used for genotype site matching trial, and also as best population, which means you can collect the seeds from this mother tree and to increase your genetic diversities. So also, I think a lot of people have been buying seeds from us just to do that, just to enrich the local population. Also, the clone from genotype collected from other origin and other sources, again, help to increase genetic diversity for conservation and breeding purposes. So if anyone is interested, come, please talk to us. We'll be happy to discuss and assist wherever possible to enrich whatever local resources that you have where teak is concerned. Okay, next one. So for diversification purpose, we know that having a tissue culture lab has been very good for the purpose of cloning teak, but then with regards to doing the business, you cannot just rely on one species. You always have to think about other species, other possibilities to continue to sustain your operating costs. Maintaining a tissue culture lab is not cheap, I have to say that. But in respect to that, that's the reason why it's important to look at other species. So we are also propagating things like industrial tree plantation, Acacia hybrid, Eucalyptus pellita is quite commonly being used as a planting materials in Sabah now. Peronema canescens, also quite fast growing. Then we also look at cash crops such as banana, pineapple, vanilla, dragon fruits, and even rice. I think rice would be quite useful for tissue culture. For tissue culture propagation, would be quite useful for rice, because in terms of food security, this is something to think about. And for ornamental plant, we have been looking at orchids, to a certain extent, but I'm sure Dr. Paibun will have more interesting stories to share regarding the propagation of orchids, knowing that Thai orchid has been in that business for a long time. Okay, next one. So next, this is just an example of something from our lab. A tiger orchid is, I think we have been challenged to do it. People have not been able to successfully cultivate tiger orchid, but using seeds collected from seed pod and putting them in tissue culture, we were able to do it, and we are happy with the result. And here, this photo shows just from one seed pod how diverse in the plants that can be derived from seed can be propagated, the outcome of tissue culture. So I don't know if they are the best looking orchid, but then just to show you what genetic diversity can do. So I think I'm good. Huh? That was the last slide. You can go on to the next slide. So with that, I thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to ask me any question, and hope that I can answer. So thank you very much.
So thank you very much, Dr. Doreen, and for excellent presentation. And congratulations for your long-term professional, more than 25 years, and very successful. So as you know, teak have been planted about 80 countries worldwide. And according to your presentation, you export to 25 countries, or contribute about one third. Very congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
So since the presentation of Dr. Doreen and Dr. Praibun are quite similar, so for this moment, I would like to obtain the immediate question that are related to the Dr. Doreen, but for the general question regarding the tissue culture technique and pro and con, we can combine after Dr. Praibun presentation. So I see hand of Dr. Ma. So Dr. Ma, please. You meet Dr. Ma, okay?
Thank
Dr.
you.
Ma,
Thank you
and then
Mohammed.
Okay, Dr. Ma first.
Dr. Doreen, very much. You're very informative, and also I like to congratulate you the advancement of the Teak clone. My question: can you your slide regarding you anticipate IS clone to 24 countries? Can you share that screen?
Yes.
When you push the dispatch to Australia, and then now also Cambodia, Latin America, and Togo. So you some elaboration regarding the rotation cycle. As you mentioned, this culture-based clone has a tremendous advantage of short rotation. I think the Teak sector, everybody is interested in short rotation. So quickly elaborate what somehow we understand that farm in Cambodia, very interesting. They had 7-year round rotation.
That's right.
Other country, they have some different also rotation cycle, or might have similar YS clone. So can you elaborate some?
For the company in Cambodia, they are looking at very short rotation of 6 to 7 years. And of course, in Cambodia, the conditions are not the most suitable but then they are using specific drip irrigation per tree, and they have managed to grow the tree. And I've seen some of the trees, some look good, some not so good. But as I said, they are looking at rotation 6-7 years, and then they fell the tree, and I think they're trying to sell some of the timber now. And also, I'm sure they're looking at certain technology to process the timber to make it a different color, or different durability, some kind of preservative, I'm sure. So that's in Cambodia. In Brazil, they are now looking at 15 to 18 years rotation, which is a big drop from the previous 20, 25 years rotation. So now they have found out that using our clone, they have been able to get a higher yield, improvement of about 30% yield compared to using seed-derived trees. And that's the reason why they are able to come down with a shorter rotation of 15 to 18 years. For Togo and Tanzania, in Africa, I haven't got the result yet from them. They are still working on it. But I imagine they will be looking at 20 years rotation, 23 years rotation. Now you have to remember, investment in the wrong rotation crops like teak is not a very feasible one. People are talking about a fast income. So hopefully using clones that will reduce the rotation age, and the investor can recoup from the investment that they have made.
Okay, thank you. So before Mohammed, I have the related question. Since you export the teak seedling to 3 continents, you said that you have the problem with Australia with the custom, right, to have permission. Yes. So how about Africa and Latin America?
Yes, every country that we have exported to, it's important that each importing country issue an import permit for us. Once we have the import permit from each of these countries, we will use this permit to apply for a phytosanitary certificate. And with a PC, a phytosanitary certificate, the importing country usually, they look at it, they have certain requirements, and we will fulfill them, like spraying or make sure that they are free from, bacterial. So with that, they, so far has not been a problem.
Okay, thank you. So now I give the floor to Mohammed. Mohammed, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Go, for the wonderful presentation. As usual, I have learned a lot from your presentation. Yeah, I have 2 questions. The second question, unfortunately, I have to ask it. I will not be able to wait for the second presenter to do it because I have to leave after this presentation. And I'm sorry about that. Today is a special day for me. Today is my birthday. And I have to go out, Alyssa, to share some moment with some friends. Yeah. So I'll ask you questions.
Okay.
You mentioned that from your research, they have looked at some characteristics of younger trees from the clonal propagation, and then compared them to younger trees of similar age from natural plantation, and then they didn't see much difference. Can you elaborate on what trait that they had looked at and compared side by side to see the similarities, please?
Yes. Actually, the 10-year-old sample that we had was compared to a 35-year-old wood sample from Myanmar. I think someone got a piece of the wood, and they were looking at the wood density, the coloration, shrinkage, and there was something else. I think durability.
Okay.
So when they did this comparison, they found out there was not a big difference between a 10-year-old clonal teak wood and a 30-year-old. And in fact, we have all this, we have a DNA wood analysis information sheets for each of these clones. And I'll be happy to share them if you want to look at them.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So still on that. So if you compare 10-year-old, definitely one from the clonal propagation, because of its fast-growing nature, definitely it's going to have advantage in terms of maybe diameter, height, and other things compared to those coming from the natural forest. Yeah, that's I do understand. But the problem here is that under normal circumstances, many people, especially in India, they would rather be looking at those coming from the natural source. I mean, I'm talking about seed, not from clonal propagation. They would rather be looking at those that are aged 15, 25 years. Even today, they normally will accept exports from between 25, 30-year-old, especially those coming from Africa. They prefer 25 to 30-year-old, and even some countries, they do more than 30 years. And of course, even in Thailand, Dr. Yongyud, if you recall, last year, you took us around, and then the cooperative, the FAO, I mean, the name sounds like FAO, their take from natural source was quite dense, I mean, in terms of diameter, but they were 40, 50-year-old. So if we do not wait until maybe we get clonal propagation trees, products to compare them at that age, are we not jumping the gun by saying that they are similar? By looking at just at a very tender age, what about 15-year-old? What about 20-year-old? And then maybe can come out with some conclusion. For example, I was in Panama last year, and we went to a teak plantation. I don't know whether you can see it. This is a 14-year-old clones, 14-year-old, and the diameter range between 30 to 39 centimeters. That is huge. That is huge, yeah. So, Doctor, I don't know. I mean, what is your conclusion about that? Should we wait until maybe we get to year 15, 20 and make reasonable comparison as against just using the much younger age, which doesn't say much, especially India and other important countries would not be taking, products at the age of 10, not coming from non-tissue culture. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely, I understand. I fully understand your question and the concern.
Yeah.
For sure. I think there's still work to be done in the comparison of clonal teak timber and those from seeds. And it would be fantastic now that we have sent all this clone, to Latin America and to Africa. If someone would continue to this kind of work, just compare it. Find out whether the teak plantation timber from clones will be as good as those from natural forest. But we also have to acknowledge that the product, the timber from natural forest is not going to be there, all the time. It's getting lesser and lesser. Yeah. So we have no other option but to try to fall back on, fast-growing clonal plantation of teak. But then, of course, there's a sacrifice in the quality. So at the end of the day, it is where, we have to talk about the supply and demand, the market, whether the consumer is going to be able to accept, lesser quality timber compared to from those from natural forest. But you're right, we need to look and study and make all the comparison between natural plantations. And for sure, I'm all for it.
Dr. Yongyud, if you allow me my second question, because from after this I'm going. And sorry for troubling you, Dr. Go.
No.
My second question is about compromise in genetic variability from clonal propagation as against the normal propagation that we know. Genetic variation is compromised, we know that. But selecting only 8 genotypes, don't you think that it is on the lower side?
It is. It is. and the egg cloner, just for your clarification, the egg clones were selected from the beginning, and we have been observing them all over. But over the years, we have come up with more and more, and we have now like 50 clones, and we have been we have been sending new clones to different countries, and we are open to the idea of having our clones tested in different countries for sure. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Dr. Doreen
You
with us, so we can ask more questions. And thank you very much for Dr. Nurudeen for your opening remark and asking questions. We will share the meeting report with you later. Okay?
Thank you. And bye-bye. I have to go.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So now I would like to invite Dr. Paibun, the managing director of the Thai Orchid Company, to make a presentation. Dr. Paibun, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jungyut, and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share our experience with your web project. Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, I think, sorry, there's some problem. So the topic today is on good quality teak tissue culture seedlings. When we're talking about good quality, actually there can be two meanings. One is on the phenotype. We look at the seedling and we say, okay, this strong, healthy, apparent disease-free, and so on. The other meaning is that more on the genetic quality. For example, like high wood yields and high quality wood, which I think Doreen already covered part of it already. Yeah. So in order to produce quality teak seedlings, it can be produced by tissue culture technology. So that's I make a conclusion. Okay. I just would like to give you some background of tissue culture technology. Yeah, actually, it can be applied into several what they call purposes. The first one is on mass production, that's for cloning, which Doreen already mentioned. For the improvement, the high yield, high quality, as well as tissue can be a basic for the GMO technology, gene editing technology, and so on. And also disease-free for healthy. Actually, for propagations, mass productions, is cover all three together at one time. Mass production for the improvement traits and also disease-free. But for conservation, actually, this is quite specific purpose. Give an example. We have one teak, which is the oldest and the biggest in the world in Thailand. And there is only one tree. And if we want to preserve them or conserve them, then we can produce tissue cultures. Then we can save the good germplasm. Okay. So just to give you some short and quick, what is the processes of tissue culture technology? So actually, we started from high quality mother plants, yes, and then we have the initiation phase, we have multiplication phase, we have rooting phase. That's in the lab, and then also acclimatizations, and then we have transplanting phase 1 and 2. Generally, we have transplanting phase 1 in the plug system or on the tray, and then we have transplanting phase 2, generally in the polybag or in the tube, yeah, and then planting in the field and care in the field. Then we have the plantations. This is the general tissue technology processes. Now come to the requirement for a commercialization of tissue culture technology. I think this is very important. I would like to emphasize this, that in order to be commercialized, first, you have to have the good mother plants. If you don't have good mother plants, uh, tissue culture will be no use. Yeah, it's not useful because tissue culture is a copy, is a cloning. So the plant that we produce will be the same exactly as the mother trees. Therefore, the mother tree is very important. The second one is that we have to have the suitable processes or tissue culture processes that including the medium formula from, from stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, and stage 4. Yes. And then we have to have the optimum growing conditions, temperature, light, and so on. Then the other one is very important is that we have to have the appropriate technique, the suitable technique. Actually, tissue culture is a common term. Actually, the technique itself, there are several techniques in tissue culture. Either shoot tip cultures or meristem cultures, embryo cultures, embryogenesis, organogenesis, and so on. So it depends on that. We have to select the technique that appropriate for teak, propagation or improvement or conservation. Okay, and uh, one more importance for to be commercialized is that it has to be scalable. That means it can be scaled up to produce so many plants. Yeah, 1 million, 2 million, 3 million plants. Actually, Doreen already covered that. Yeah, it have to be reliable technique. It have to be consistency, and it have to be profitable. Okay, first we have to have good mother plant. Second, we have to have suitable tissue culture processes in the lab. And third, the outcome in the field performance have to be very good. So we have to have all of these requirements in order to be able to make tissue culture to be commerce. Yeah, okay. Allow me to introduce my laboratories, my companies, which called Thai Orchid Lab. Actually, it started with the orchid, but now no more orchids. We produce teak and some other trees, okay? But we still keep the name Thai Orchid Lab and try to avoid confusion. So most of the time we will call TOL, okay? The company registered in 1988, so it's about 36 years ago. And so we are in the business of tissue culture for 36 years. Yeah. And actually it's the family business. So the shareholders is in the family. So this is the facility. We have 3 building. It's more than 3,000 square meters. Okay. And this is our company facilities. First, we have a tissue culture room or the incubating room or the culture room. We have 6 which can hold about 400,000 bottles at one time. Second, we have the subculture room that capable of supporting 180 staff. That means we have 180 cabinet based. And third, uh, the capacity is be able to produce about 20 million pounds a year, but can be expanded because we still have the building that unused, so that can be scaled up to 50 million. Actually, TOL or Thai Orchid did not produce only tea, but other plants as well, similar to Doreen. Yeah. But we divided our activity into several group of plants. The first one is forestry, and teak is our major one, the main one. But we also have some other trees that we produce, like Aquiraria, Swietenia, Dipterocarpus, Acacia, Malina, and so on. And then we have fruit and vegetables, plants, We have flowering plants, we have ornamental plants, we have herbs and medicinal plants. We produce and then we supply to the customer. Actually, Doreen has a vanilla. We also produce vanilla as well. Yeah. So now come back to talk about teak. Okay. Actually, teak is our main product in our lab. And as I mentioned earlier, the requirement to be commercialized is that first you have to have the elite mother trees, good mother trees. Initially, we work closely with the Royal Forestry Department because Royal Forestry Department already have select the mother trees and also Chiang Mai University. Okay, and that the selection is very stringent and very high pressures. But in conclusion, we can say that from 1,000 trees, we select 1+ trees. And then these plus tree have to be clonal tested, yeah, and then analyzed for heritability. So we make sure that our mother trees is very elite, yeah. So this is some of the example of the mother trees. Okay. So these are some of the mother trees, and then from these mother trees we make the DNA fingerprint, just to be the genetic identity for our clone. Yes, this is not to saying that this is our own. No, this is belong to the forestry department, the selected, and but this identity that we have to do is to protect ourselves when we export to customer, and when the customer saying that we didn't send the suitable clone to them, or we didn't send the clone to them, that we can take the material and identify by our DNA fingerprint. Okay. As I mentioned earlier, the first we have to have the good mother plants. And from that good mother plant, we have to have the good processing tissue culture technique. From the, I don't know whether I can point it out. How can I point it out? Yeah. That means from the initial, can I point and can you see this? The pointing? Oh, okay. In the process, as I mentioned earlier, there are 3 steps in tissue culture: initiation, multiplication, and rooting. So in each step, we have to find a suitable medium and appropriate medium and growing conditions. The multiplication, that's a different kind of medium. The rooting, the different medium at different locations. And the technique, whether we are using the shoot tip cultures and then using the micro cuttings or axillary bud enhancement or organogenesis or embryogenesis. This is we have to select that depend on the purpose, okay? And we have developed those, okay? So the process, as I showed you earlier, from the mother tree, good mother trees, we take initiation, multiplication, rooting, and then transplanting, and then planting, and then become the clonal plantations. Okay. Then it has to be good in the field. Yeah. So actually, it's already we already working on this for about 30 years, and it's already planted and proven in the field to show that in the field the what you call the performance of the mother trees is there after we produce tissue culture. This is one of the plantations in Thailand actually belong to us. Yeah, we have about 1,000 hectares of tissue culture. Teak planting is already now about 18 to 19, 20 years. Yeah, and the performance look very good. in terms of form, uniformity, and growth. Okay, this is already good in field performance. Yeah. And this is the field resource in the different places that where we sell our tissue culture plant to. Yeah. Quite similar to Doreen that sent to the continental. Actually, our main market, of course, in Thailand, Malaysia, Sabah, Sarawak, in Indonesia, on continent Java, Sulawesi, Sumatra, and so on. And then we also export to Australia. Yeah. I would like to confirm, Doreen, that to Australia is very difficult because they are so particular on the phytosanitary certificate. But we are one of the 2 laboratories in Thailand that got accredited from EQUIS. Yeah. So we'll be able to export to Australia, not only teak, ornamental plant as well. So in Africa, we export to Mozambique, but in Central or North Caribbean, we export to Jamaica and Guatemala. And those are some of the photo, but it's the old photo that we took from those places. And they perform good, good form as expected in terms of growth rate.
Next station, Lablakau.
Pardon me? No, okay, sorry, there is a noise here. Okay, so we take the photo of those places and then show it over here. In terms of form, it's very good form. In terms of growth, it depends on the soil condition and so on. Okay. And from the data, actually, this is not our data, but the data from the Royal Forestry Department that they compare between tissue cultures, actually it's our tissue cultures, and from the clonal seed, and found that actually the performance is, again, increase the value of over 200%. That means if we grow from tissue cultures, we will get the money more than from the seed is 200%. Okay, these are market as I earlier mentioned. And now we also have Thailand, we have Malaysia, we have Indonesia, we have Mozambique, we have Australia, we have Laos. We also export to Myanmar, Vietnam, Jamaica, and Guatemala. Okay. So we also have additional activities for teak improvement and utilizations. Okay. The first activity we have is that we further selection of specific traits. That means from the population that we already send to customer and our own plantations, we make a further selection. For example, like defoliator resistance. We found that some of the trees that growing in the field, when there is a defoliator attack, there are some of them not been attacked. So we make a selection of those and try to and now further modification and try to further prove that this is really resistant to defoliator. Yeah. On the wood quality and fast growing. We also with the colleague introduced the ploidy. Now we got the tetraploid plants that fast growing, faster growing than the diploid, but now it's still in the testing or the experimenting stage. We also do some evaluation with some of the breeders in some of the hybrid that we got from, and then we analyze it. And we found that there are some hybrid or some hybrid that grow and perform better than the average clone that we have at the moment. The clone we thought is already good, but with the hybrid, we got some of the clone some of the hybrid that perform better But now we have to multiply them and test them again whether it's really good according to the evaluation. Also, we also doing the research with together with the National Biotechnology Institute on try to find the gene marker for the earth selection of good growth and form in teak. Actually, this technique has been used in eucalyptus, but we would like to develop this in teak in order that we can choose by using the gene marker. Okay. In addition, we have some research collaboration with the university to develop non-timber products. Yeah. Give an example, we have developed herbal tea, yeah, develop the natural dyeing from the leaf, the teak leaf, that can be dyed for the silk and some other fabric, okay? And this can be additional income. We also working closely with the university to develop the shampoo from the teak leaf. I don't know whether you know that actually the teak leaf have a chemical that anti-androgens. That means when we use as a shampoo, they will not stop, that will reduce the hair drop. So it prevents bonding. So this can be a very good product, and it can help a lot of people not to bond. Okay. So we work on this in order to see that not only income from timber that we will get, but we can get from non-timber as well. Okay. During the COVID, actually the activity is very low. So actually the people starting to come back and starting to grow forest, to grow teak. Yeah. So this is an example of the teak plantation in Thailand last year. Yeah. This is about 40 acres, and it's growing very well and quite uniform. This is in somewhere Nakhon Ratchasima. And we're also working, collaborating with Vietnam on the field trial of our clone over there. Actually, this is in the ITTO project. Yeah. Okay. In summary, actually, good quality teak tissue culture seedling can give us the high wood yield, can give us a high quality wood. Therefore, it will give us a high price and value, then have a very high return. Yeah. And actually, at the moment, when we're talking about high dollar return, of course, we're talking about timber product. But actually, we have another some other product like non-timber product from the teak wood, yeah, from the leaf and from the branches. But in the meantime, also can be the income from the carbon credit. Okay, so actually, tissue culture can have a very high return from those. The high timber, as I says, high wood yield, high quality wood, high price, high value. Once is a high yield, is a high carbon credit, and that also give us a very good income. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So thank you very much, Dr. Paibun. So after this presentation, I will order 2 bottles of the teak shampoo my hair drop. Okay. So before we start the question, I would like to confirm that I attended the first World Teak conference in Ghana 2 years ago, and both company YSG and Thai Orchid Farm have been recognized and mentioned at the World Teak Congress. Congratulations. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
So now the floor is open. So if anyone would like to ask question or comment, either to each presenter, please raise your hand. but sometimes I may not see your hand. You can ask questions directly.
Yes, Prof. Yongyut.
Yeah, Dr. Rina, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Doreen and also Dr. Paibul, for the very insightful information. About how you produce the massively the thick seedlings and etc. And also regarding the non-timber forest product from the thick leaves also. Wow, it's a very good insights. And then when Dr. Doreen mentioned about what Dr. Konje said before, that the good, how to say, good propagation or those activities, the massive cloning system is about the also regarding about the supply chain. Is it possible, I mean, like briefly, since I think the information is very rigid, but I want to know a little bit more about the downstream of the that supply chain. I mean, when you send or when you sell the seedlings, and then who are the buyer, and then are they from the community, are they from the big company concession, something like that, and then how do you integrate the local community? That is the most important thing, because as Professor Yongyut already know in Indonesia that we have a problem that there is lack of integration between the big concession producing the teak, planting the teak, and then also the local community, that they don't have a proper opportunity to get a good seedlings, with high quality seedlings. So what is your role in that supply chain at the downstream part? Thank you.
Okay, so may I start with Dr. Praibun first? Have you ever supplied good quality seedling to the smallholder rather than big company? And then Dr. Doreen.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, clearly.
Okay. Actually, when I sell to Indonesia, we have the agents, and the agent buy from us in the larger scale, and they have the collaboration with the small farmers. Yeah. Actually, we did not go to Indonesia and promote ourselves to the small farmers, but we give our agent the technical support.
Okay,
when they have their small farmers. Yeah.
How about the case for the Dr. Doreen? Have you ever export to smallholder or to?
No, in our case, we have so far been selling a lot to major investment company for teak planting. So we have not been approached by any smallholders, cooperatives or things like that. But that doesn't mean that we're not open to the idea. I think it's important now that we have clonal teak, and if we can add value and have faster return for the smallholders, why not? I'm all for it. In Malaysia, we talk about it for many years, but we have not really started on this small holding project. Although in the oil palm industry, we have a lot of smallholders planting oil palm, but so far nothing yet for teak. So that doesn't mean that we are not going to do it. We hope to do it, and we are open to the idea of our clonal teak being used up by smallholders in other countries, Indonesia, India, wherever. We are totally open to the idea. Yeah.
Thank you. So it's open for all, but the economy off scale for the smallholder, maybe small amount of order, maybe the price is quite expensive, right?
Yeah, we understand that. We understand, right, completely. But we are free to talk. Open to the idea. Definitely, Dr. Rina, if you have any ideas and care to share, we are open to the discussion.
Okay. Next question, please.
I have one comment. If I have one comment, if I may, Dr. Okay. I know we are using a lot of the word seedling when we talk about tissue culture. Actually, we should never use seedling in the context of tissue culture. When you propagate a plant by tissue culture, you're already looking at clones, and we are not dealing with seedlings. Seedling to us is from seed. So when you propagate a seedling, you're getting clones of the seedling, so they become clone, and it's all clonal material. I just want to get that term straightened out because that's important. Not to mix up tissue culture plant with seedling, totally different things. Okay, just a comment.
Yeah. Thank you. Jump in, Prof. Yongyut. Yeah, thank you because I'm not coming from the silviculture background. So yeah, thank you for giving the understanding. Is it possible to ask one more? I mean, like the insights as Dr. Nurudeen asked before, should we keep the Teak into the bigger diameter with a very quiet higher value, or let's say higher value, or let's just cut it down? I mean, like give the community get some fresh cash. I mean, just only for the period like 10 to 14 instead of 40 or 50. I mean, like even though both of you came from the upstream, I mean, like the producing the propagation or something. But yeah, how do you perceive this condition actually? Because I know that you must have insights also from the field, how the community managing, not the community, I mean how the concessioners even managing their plantation. Will they keep the bigger one to get value? But something like that. Thank you.
I guess that's for me. Is that?
Yes, Dr. Doreen, please.
Both of you, if you can,
Okay, I understand completely the difficulty. There's a big question now on fast growing teak, planting and felling it at 7 or 10 years, And as I said earlier, it's all about supply and demand and whether there's a market demand for it. It's not easy for smallholder to wait until 15 years before they fell the tree because that's too long. And we're trying to change the mindset that maybe there will be some value in a 10-year-old tree. But 10-year-old tree, what can it do? Maybe we're looking at furniture. We are looking at cottage industries to help the smallholders. Because if you're going to wait for 15, 20 years, you're looking at a totally different kind of product. So now we have to think smaller, away from a perspective of smallholder. What can we do with young teak trees? Will there be a supply? Will there be a demand for it? I think that's important. And what is the value for this kind of timber? So these are questions I think will be on a case-to-case basis. And we are trying to do our best here in Malaysia now to try to push it to clarify this question, because that's a concern that the teak tree may be too young to fell. But again, as I said, smallholder cannot wait. And even investors, look at for example, the project in Cambodia, they are looking at 6 to 7 years, and they are using technological processes to refine the wood just to get quick money, for the investment. So it's all about dollar and cent, market demand, whether there's a market for it. Okay.
Dr. Paibun, you also the planted teak. So after you, I can add some comment from the case of Ghana that I visited 2 years ago. Dr. Paibun, please.
Yeah, I think the way I see it that for the small or the small farmers or the community, I think the business model or the planting model are quite different from the commercial model. Yeah, the commercial model can be longer, it can be shorter, like in Cambodia, because they would like to have the fast money and they have the wood technology to work it on and so on. But in terms of the small farmers, I think we are not actually the income is not only from the teak wood alone. I think generally they will grow as agroforestry, right, with the cash crop. Like Doreen is showing that there's some cash crop. And I just show a little bit of the non-timber products. That can be another income to the farmers if already developed in business. And the carbon credit, if it combined together, and then there can be another income. So I think when we say tissue culture, of course, one of the purpose is to have the fast harvesting. But sometimes we are not only looking for fast harvesting, but we also looking for the higher quality and also bigger and also higher income to the farmers. I don't know whether I answered that
Yeah,
question.
thank you. So I would like to share the experience from Ghana that I visited 2 years ago for the large scale and commercial plantation. So the company, they use the economic linear programming to predict what is the optimum rotation. So based on the investment, interest, and market demand. So in Ghana, they said that 20 to 25 years. So after 25 year tree goes, the performance is quite low. And interest from the bank may be higher and with the market demand. So they make a conclusion that about 20 to 25 years. But that's for the commercial plantation, not the smallholder plantation. Smallholder and farmer cannot wait 20 to 25 years to get the economic return, right? Because they have to eat every day. So I see a hand of Dr. Ma. Dr. Ma, please.
Thank you very much. I have one question. We are talking about this business model, but first I'd like to ask the Bible very long-term service for this clone business. So I'm very impressed. Also, you export the clone Teak to many other countries. A question to Doreen, and your case. What are your expectations for the rotation cycle? I mean, you're the patient, you clone the. What are the general expectation for rotation cycle? We learned the Thailand sometime the FIO like the 40 years, but I believe that we learned that tissue culture, the Teak clone will maximize. I mean, high return means also quality, and then show rotate. But your case also, I like to see also. I learned from the Doreen, but I like the case. What is your some expectation? Your customer when I'm going to cut the high quality teak from your home, the advanced seedling.
When they sell my material to the buyer, actually what we say is that probably the size that you can get, let's say 15 years, is quite acceptable to the market. But the longer you live, the better the price and value you have. So it really depend on your business and your money. Whether it is you have a lot of money that you can wait or you want to have earlier. But we just looking at the size, and we're saying that the size of 15 years, that could be the acceptable size to the market. Yeah, that's all we say. Yeah, but we don't really recommend what is the cycle and so on. It depends on the investor, yeah, right? And to have the business models. Okay.
Thank you. I mean, you're very practical. I mean, also guide. I mean, dependent the investors, they may go beyond the people.
Like I understand, because it's our friend that going in Indonesia. I know in Cambodia, and they want to go for 6-7 years. because they think that they're using the technology of irrigation and so forth and so on. And with the wood that may not be really good quality, but they think that they have the wood technology that they can compromise. Yeah, then of course they get the fast return. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have also a simple question to both speaker. I mean, small farmer program, small farmer, they could not secure like the tissue culture is the clone. Normally, like only the handler. I mean, they are receiving the seedling from neighboring conventional way. I have seen here also not Indonesia, Myanmar, some other, like the conventional way, they're using the hatch garden. I'm farmer to small village, hatch garden, just cutting the bone, and then they also go to nursery and then planting. So I see some of the easy-going way for small holder. But small, I mean, they are not planting big areas, small, but I saw the one of the also way to introduce the seedling by the some small the nursery operator, the leader. He collected some from the hatch garden, and then he supplied the seedling to farmer. I saw also some better than, I mean, the seed germination we understand is very hard, but there is some.
I'm sorry, I think the internet is not connected.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. So my point is we need some good recommendation how to scale up high quality teak seedling to small farmers. So if you have any some recommendation enhance the supply of the quality teak seedling to small farmer. Instead of, I'm sorry, but instead of the culture-based clones, because they are not unable to access such the quality seedling. In the case, I mean, conventional way, what the step by step they can also improve. Any other the recommendation for how to enhance?
Yeah, in our case, we have tried to encourage local buyers to do propagation on their own. What we can do is supply them with a certain quantity to be used as mother stock plant. They acclimatize it and then convert them to stock plant. It's going to take a while, maybe 6 months before a mother plant will start producing enough shoot to be further propagated. But yes, that can be done. So the key question is, the importance of tissue culture lab is you are able to supply good quality mother stock to be used as for the hedge garden. And smallholder can continue to propagate for it. You can show them the technique, teach them how to do a fertilization regime, do proper pruning, and then they can just take young shoot and do cuttings. And that's doable. And we have done it successfully. Yeah, not a problem at all.
Yeah, thank you. I think the certain the field like the hedge garden also not but current practice also I have seen some of the feasibility. Or some country like Papua New Guinea and also in Ghana, I learned that somehow not only interesting, after cutting the computing power. Somehow it's stressing. I so dependent country. So various way they are producing. So I improve the quality. I think dependent
in Latin America, especially, they've come up with mini gardens, mini hedge garden, all under the Mistings nursery, and we are looking at about 10 centimeter mother plants, and they continue to cut it. It's very successful. Yeah,
very interesting. Very
successful. Yeah, they can do that for sure.
Yes, so one might comment. I mean, Professor Yong, we talk about the Teak business. I mean, we are all. I mean, all the people we talk about competition, but speaker mentioned. I mean, it's important for investor dependent the market. I think high end market they need more than 25 30, 40 years. We enjoyed some like the whiskey, what 40, 30-year whiskey is important, high price. Also rotation, I mean, go to furniture. But we have seen the high quality of teak go to laser board, high-end market. And high-end the furniture that required a really good durable, I mean the quality of teak. But the simple furniture, of course, I would say, I mean the short rotation, and it can go. So I think the small farmer, their target could not go. I could not meet the high-end target and high-end market. So how to diversify small farmer, and I think they're more realistic approach and expectation not too high. I mean, we understand the Teak and Plantations invested expecting a high return, but they talk about only the net that is Teak. So now the more the realistic I mean, understanding of the Teak investment, but also once again, I mean, the small farmer and medium, I mean, planter and large scale, I mean, the player like the farm in Cambodia and the Teak resources fund, Brazil. I have seen they are very, very much advanced. I think they can do it, but our collaboration also can go for like small farmer, how to they can gain some momentum and they can also add the additional. I was very impressed also. Hair shampoo from Teak leaf, hair shampoo. First
we
time
get
I
sample,
heard.
Dr. Paibun, we need some sample.
Please continue. Shampoo is
my internet is not so well. It's on and off. So
first time I heard. I'm very impressed. Very impressive. Thank you so much for today. Your two wonderful presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So
but
thank you.
I just want to add that actually, I think Doreen and I actually, when we export, we are not export only one type, the seedling, like we export to Australia, which is state 3, state 3. But we also export the state 4 or bigger, state 5, that are ready for planting, and as well as the tissue culture stump. That can be easier to handling by the farmers. But of course, I mean, if we export only a few hundred plants, it's not worthwhile. Yeah, but maybe in the country they have to have the cooperatives or the group and so on that combine and then distribute it to the small farmers. Yeah, and ideally, ideally is that if the big demand in the countries, then have the lab there. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So now it's almost 5. So I would like to conclude that. Okay, the tissue culture, I think, is the promising and what's called the optimized technique to maintain the genetic diversity and enhance, facilitate the what you call the good performance and phenotype, good quality timber, the state pro, and so on and so forth, and cost-effective production compared to other techniques, particularly for the mass production. But in terms of the rotation period, it depends on the business model. It's not rigid. 15 years, 25 years, it depends on the demand and supply. Okay, but for the long-term rotation, of course, I think it's very high demand for the premium market, particularly for the European market. But other market like India, Asia, sometimes moderate quality it might be suitable. Then the farmer can gain short-term income, and we can what you call enhance the value added by the product design to on instead of the long-term plantation. So on behalf of the IATTO Teak project, I would like to thanks to famous scientist speaker and very successful in business. I think it's very good opportunity for us to learn a lot from you. So may I invite on participants to join and to give a big applause to speaker. And for the I have a short announcement. So the Teakness will organize the fifth World Teak Congress on 17 to 20 September in Kerala, in India. So if anyone is interested, you can register and join. Okay. And the second one that I mentioned is a series of webinar. So for the next webinar, normally we organize every 2 months, but depend on the availability of our speaker. So the next one will be focused on the silviculture practice, how silviculture can help our state to obtain the good quality timber. So we hope that we will see you again for the next webinar. So once again, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Bye.
Khop kun
And
krap.
we will share the meeting minutes with you all.
Okay.
Later.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bye.
Thank you. Bye.